Right, sir. So today, last week we had 3 classes. You can consider them as a demo sessions. And today is the first class. Actual syllabus, I'm starting from today. And so from today, this batch is going to be freezed. So today agenda of the session, software development life cycle. I'm going to explain you. I'm going to explain you software development life cycle. So everyone, see, most of you are coming from non-IT to IT. So you need to understand first process behind the project. So first you need to understand process to be followed in a project. So software development life cycle, we call it as SDLC. So we call it as SDLC. So SDLC means process followed to deliver a project. So I'm going to explain you what happens from beginning to ending. When we get a new project, like, from beginning to ending, what are the various activities happens, how we get a new project, all these things I'm going to explain in today's session. Process process followed to deliver a new project. Process followed to deliver a new project. So in the process followed to deliver a new project, sir, whenever we get any IT project, let's say, assume you are working in, for example, you got a job in any company, let's say Capgemini. You joined as a tester in Capgemini. So you joined as a tester in Capgemini. So when you joined as a tester as a Capgemini, you got a project from one of the insurance company. So Capgemini got a project from one of the insurance company. In US, there is an insurance company called State Farm Insurance Company. That's a State Farm Insurance Company considered as a client. State Farm Insurance Company is considered as a client. So Capgemini is IT vendor to State Farm. Capgemini is IT vendor to State Farm. So Capgemini got a project from State Farm Insurance. So in this picture, so which domain project you got? Insurance domain. So which domain project you got? Insurance domain. Okay. So who is your client? State Farm Insurance. Your company name? Capgemini. Okay. Just for example, sir. So now this Capgemini appoint few resources in US client location also. So Capgemini appoint few resources in client location for better coordination. So few resources, like, see, one project manager, one development manager, one test manager, like this, like a couple of resources from Capgemini. And so these people are Capgemini employees. These people are Capgemini employees working from client location. And Capgemini also appoint product manager, product owner. So Capgemini also appoints product manager, product owner. Capgemini also appoints product manager, product owner, business analyst, PA, business analyst 1, 2, 3, like that. So Capgemini client also appoints couple of resources. So product manager, product owner, PA1, PA2, These are the client employees. Project manager, dev manager, test manager, couple of resources are Capgemini employees working from client location. Working from client location. So this location is called on-site team. So this location is called on-site team. And this team is called offshore team. So this is called offshore. Offshore means Capgemini team in Capgemini location. Capgemini location may be Chennai, Capgemini may be California. Capgemini offices are offshore. Client locations are onshore, on-site, onshore. For example, Capgemini appointed 5 resources from Hyderabad location, 5 resources from Pune Capgemini. Because for business continuity, suddenly if Hyderabad affected with something, then at least some team may be there from working from Pune. So Capgemini distributed this team from Hyderabad location and Pune location. So these for Pune location, Hyderabad location is near shore. For Hyderabad location, Pune location is near shore. Both of these locations are offshore. Offshore. So on-site team, offshore team, onshore team, offshore team. Onshore team means team, Capgemini team and client team working from client location. Working from client location. That's why, see, many of your village people or your relatives may be in US. Why they are in US? They are working on behalf of TCS, Capgemini, Infosys. They are working in client location. They are working in on-site. So that's why in office we generally call it as we are going to on-site. I got H1 visa, I'm going to on-site. On-site means client location. They're going to work from client location. Let's say imagine this is the project. So we got this project. Sir, whenever we get any project, let's say Capgemini got a project. So when Capgemini got a project, the first activity what Capgemini has to do, planning of the project. So the first activity what Capgemini has to do, planning of the project. So Capgemini has to be involved in project planning. Capgemini has to be involved in project planning. Sir, so the very first activity in any IT project, you may get a project of banking project, insurance project, e-commerce project, any project, the first level activity is planning. What is the first phase in IT project, sir? Planning. So in planning phase, who will be involved? Project manager. So dev manager. So in planning of a project, who will be involved? Project manager will be involved, dev manager or solution architect. So project manager, dev manager, solution architect. So these people, so project manager, dev manager, solution architect will be involved. So will be involved, and so what they do, so they come up with project schedule. They come up with project budget. So they come up with project schedule. They come up with project budget. So these people so project managers, dev manager, so they involve in project schedule and they involve in project budget. Okay, and they also involve in resource planning. So total, how many employees required? Resources planning. So total, so project schedule, project budget, resources planning. So they involve in resources planning. Okay, so this kind of activities they will do. And so once the planning is over, we get a clarity we publish, so this much budget. This project is 2 years project. This project cost 10 crores. This project is going to be involved 20 to 30 resources. Okay, so this project we are going to deliver with these tools, with these technologies. It is a web application, high level idea about the project. So project manager, dev manager, architect. So these people will involve and they create so project schedule, project budget, so resource planning. So all these activities they are going to involve. So this is the first phase of the project, sir. Here your involvement is zero. You need not to involve in this phase. So this phase is called project planning, project initiation, project mobilization, all are same. Project planning, project initiation, project mobilization. So project planning, project initiation, project mobilization. So all these activities are same. All these activities are same. So project basically first phase of any IT project is project planning, project initiation, project mobilization. So here the outcome of this phase is, so we will get a project charter. So few companies call it as project charter, or few companies call it as project quotation. Few companies call it as project plan. So name may be different from company to company. This is the deliverable of the project. This is the outcome of the project. This is the outcome of the first phase. This is the outcome of the first phase. So what is the first activity in any IT company? Planning of a project. What will be planned here? Budget will be planned, schedule will be planned, resources will be planned. So like this, any risks in this project. So these kind of things are analyzed by very senior people in the company. So delivery manager, project manager. So those people generally involved in this phase with a lot of experience in IT projects. So you are not going to be involved in the planning phase. So planning will be done by senior most architects, senior most project managers. They involve and they create a project schedule. They create a project plan. They create a project charter. They create project quotation. Everyone, hope you understand. So what happens in a typical IT project first? Project plan. Okay, so once the project plan is ready, okay, so the project plan client approves it. So we'll submit this project plan to product manager. So of client, State Farm Insurance is our client. State Farm Insurance is our client. So we submit this to product manager. So we submit this information to product manager. So when we submit this information to product manager, so we'll submit this information to product manager. So when we submit this information to product manager, okay, so once product manager approves it, this project plan will become the final. So once product manager approves it, our product manager comes up with some suggestions. So you propose a 2 years project, but we are expecting 1.5 years. You propose it is 5 crore project, we are expecting 3.5 crore. You are planning to deliver only web application, but we want mobile application also. Like that. So client comes up with some suggestions. Who is client? Any client employee, product manager, product owner, all those are called as a client. So now project plan is approved. Then project will go to second phase. So the second phase of the project is requirement analysis. So the second phase of the project is requirement analysis. So second phase of the project is requirement analysis. So requirement analysis means, so now project is approved. See, here we got very high level information about the project. So just client explained high level problem statement. So, but we need detailed requirements to solve this project. So we need detailed requirements to solve this project. So here client explained high level requirements of the project, but we need detailed requirements. So what is requirements, sir? What is requirement? Requirements are nothing but customer expectations from the software. Requirements are nothing but business expectations from the software. Requirements are nothing but end user expectations from the software. So requirements are nothing but customer expectations, end user expectations, business expectations from the software. Client expectation, business expectation, end user expectation, customer expectation, all are same. Please don't confuse between these words. So when I use customer, client, business, end user, in my opinion, all are same. So what exactly business is expecting? For example, they need a software for insurance company. So they need software to handle claim management. So whenever they are receiving the claims, they are issuing with manual process with Excel sheets. But they wanted to build a web application to handle claims software. Claim means whenever you have insurance policy, any sudden death or damage happened, they're recovering that amount. Customer is recovering that amount. That is claim process. So that claim handling process, they want to build a software. So this claim handling process, so so these people, business analysts and all, these people interacts with the real end users who want this application. So business analysts interact with the real business team who want this software, and so they convert end user expectations into requirements. They convert end user expectations into requirements. For example, this is required for claims department of State Farm Insurance. Who is working in claims department? Some managers, so 10-15 managers are working in claims department. So you joined as a tester. See, do you think you can call directly to claims department people of client? No. So they will not give that access. Example, I worked for Bank of America project. That means, can I call directly Bank of America end user who is using Bank of America debit card and say, so I need requirements from you? Can I call them directly? No. So there is a layer between end user and IT team. That layer is business analyst. That layer is business analyst. So business analyst is the person who provides requirements. So business analyst is the person who provides requirements. So business analyst provides requirements. So end user expectations converted into requirements by business analyst. Telugulo end user expectations ni requirements ga convert chesevadi peru business analyst. So business analyst skill ari. So business analyst conduct interview with end user. Business analyst conduct questionnaire. He will give list of questions to business. So why they want software, what software they want, what features they want, currently how they are managing their business, in future how they are going to change their business. So currently how they are managing the business, in future how they are going to change the business. So end user expectations are converted into requirements. End user expectations are converted into requirements by business analyst, and that activity name is called requirement analysis. What is this activity name? Requirement analysis. See, during requirement analysis, end user expectations are, during requirement analysis, end user expectations are converted into detailed requirement document. Okay, sir. So during requirement analysis, end user expectations are converted into detailed requirement documents. Okay, so these requirement documents are called as BRD, Business Requirement Document. FRS, Functional Requirement Document. BRD, Business Requirement Document. FRS, Functional Requirement Document. Product Backlog, which contains epics, user stories, spikes. So old style was BRD, FRS, sir. This is little old style. Now people are calling it as epics and user stories. People are calling it as, so requirement document. So requirement documents, current generation requirement documents are epics, user stories, spikes. Earlier when I started career, okay, so like requirement document is called BRD, FRS. So these days are gone. But just I am giving you because in few projects still they might be using BRDs and FRS. Now current generation requirements are product backlog. So product backlog is nothing but collection of epics, user stories, spikes. So here what you need to understand, what is the purpose of the requirement analysis? Converting end user expectations, business expectations, client expectations into a documented English written requirement. Requirement document is in English language. So requirements are nothing but customer expectations in English, with examples, with prototypes, with screenshots, with use cases, with some examples. So what customer is expecting from the, what client is expecting from the software, what business is expecting from the software, it is defined here. So in, say here, with high level requirement, project will be planned. Now we will get detailed documentation. So detailed documentation. So here we will get detailed documentation. So requirements, detailed documentation is called requirements. Now, so once we get the requirement document, so then next phase. So what is the first phase in software project? Planning, simple words, planning. Sir, before planning also, sales team will be there. They approach the client, they get the project kickoff, all those things I am not covering. That is completely different aspect. So our software team first activity planning. Before planning also, sales team, marketing team, they convince customer, they get the project. All this is how to get the project for IT company. Your job is execution of project. In the project execution, what is the first activity? Planning. So who will involve in planning? Project manager, dev manager, architects. So who will involve in analysis phase? Business analyst. See, mainly business analysts are and product owners. So who will involve in analysis phase? So who will involve in analysis phase? So business analyst and product owner. Business analyst and product owner. So these people involved in requirements analysis. These people involved in requirements analysis. So then design team. So the next activity is design. Sir, design is nothing but, see, now we got requirement. First we understand customer expectation. For example, in non-IT industry, you are a civil engineer, customer asked you to construct a building and they given requirements. Now what is next step? You propose solution diagram or a design diagram to client. So first we are not going to directly start construction, right? Once you got the requirements, for example, you are a mechanical engineer. So customer expected one bike. Are you going to directly start manufacturing? No, first a design, electrical design, electronics design, so every industry, civil engineer design. Similarly, IT industry also, based on the customer expectation, So how to solve customer problem? So architect. So architects involve in architects convert customer requirements into solution diagram. Solution diagram or design diagram. Sir, architect convert customer requirements into solution diagram or design diagram. So architects convert customer requirements into solution diagram or design diagram. So, sir, here problem statement. Here, how to solve customer problem. There is a difference, sir. This is customer problem. See, I need a 3 floors house. That is my problem. How to solve it? So 2 floors, bedrooms and 1 floor swimming pool I want. Or so which floor is kind of thing. So how to solve the different options we propose? Was to solve your problem, you need a software for claim handling module. You need a software for claim handling module. So to solve your to provide you claim handling module, these are the options we have. So solution diagram. What is the design means? In simple words, what is the design? Solution. Sir, see, this is the problem statement. Solution diagram we have given. Converting solution diagram into reality is development. That is next phase. Hope you agree. Sir, any industry, this is the common practice. Sir, any industry, so this is the common practice. So any industry, this is the common practice. So architects convert customer requirements into solution diagram or design diagram. Architects converts requirements into solution diagram or design diagram. Okay, so so once we got the solution diagram, once we got the architecture, so what are the how your system so they come up with the architecture like this. So they come up with architecture like this. So they first define how we are going to store the data. So database, how we are going to store the data, and how mainly application logic is going to be built. Then how they are going to design the front end. So how they are going to design the front end, how they are going to design the middleware or APIs or application logic and data layer, how they are going to define the data layer, how they are going to define the UI layer, how they are going to define application layer. So how they are going to define the UI layer, how they are going to define the so how this communication established. So all these things will be defined by architect. Sir, architect is generally senior developer. Architect is generally senior developer. So senior developers are generally considered as a architect.
So you just kind of and this solution diagram and design diagram just act like a Power BI.
No. Power BI purpose is different. Power BI is a reporting tool. You have data in Excel sheet. That beautification you can do in Power BI. So Power BI is just a data visualization tool. So architecture means, for example, you are planning to construct a building. Okay. First, what you will do, define requirements. Then you go to civil engineer. Civil engineer comes up with some design. They will tell, so 3 floors. Here you have the steps. Here you have the ventilation. So here you have doors. Here you have windows. So this is design. So this design is given by senior developer in the project. So the design diagram is given in normal paint also. Or the design diagram there are tools to give design diagram. So it's a diagram how we are going to build our application. So Power BI is just a reporting tool. It is not about technology. Here there is no technology. Here they are going to define how you build application. Is it first question, is it mobile application or web? If it is web, what kind of a database is better to solve this problem? How the database to front-end communication happens, how end user can interact with the application. So this complete solution diagram will be defined for the particular project architecture. For example, you are using IRCTC. IRCTC has its architecture. So if you are using Facebook architecture. So how users communicate with Facebook. Then once you get requested to Facebook, say architecture means, for example, if you log into Facebook, so your request go to server. In server, how the processing happens, how it is going to database, what database they are using. All these are first defined by Facebook architect. The architect is a key role in the project. Architect is a key role in the project. So senior developers are considered as a architects. See, the right architect salary is minimum 1 crore in India now. In India, not in US. But to work as an architect, like no, you should be having minimum 10 to 12 years of development experience. So then only you will be like, no, see, still even developers also, if they have not, see, architects should be having all the skills. So how this application is going to be deployed? Are you going to use cloud or local server? How this application receives inputs, how this input will go to server, how server process the request. All these things are defined by architect. So a right architect is the main key pillar of the company. Right? So but architect is not going to be involved in entire project. So architect mainly involved in the design phase of the project. Up to some extent, still it comes to one shape in the development. So once we got the design, so high level design is created by so architects convert customer requirements into solution design. High level design diagram created by architects. High level design diagram created by architects. So now once the design is over, then this goes to build phase. Once design is over, this goes to build phase. So in build phase, or it is also called as development phase. So during the development phase, so during development phase, programmers will involve. So during the development phase, programmers will involve. Programmers convert. So during the development phase, programmers will involve. Programmers convert design into actual program. So based on architecture of the project. So based on the architecture of the project. So UI developers, application developers, database developers create. So they create source code, nothing but program. They do code review. They do unit testing. They do code integration. Maintain multiple versions of the code. So source code, code review, unit testing, code integration, maintain multiple versions of the code. So all these things are done by build phase. All these things are done by development phase. So during the development phase of the project, so like programmers will involve in converting design into actual program based on the architecture of the project. UI developer, application developer, these people involve converting into, so they write the code, they compile the code. All these are developers activities, sir. So they use some tools. Even so, developers use tools like Jenkins, GitHub. So these kind of tools they use. Eclipse. So in Eclipse, they write the code. In GitHub, they maintain versions of the code. In Jenkins, they integrate the code. So these tools are done by, these tools are used by developers in your project. So these tools are used by developers. See how developer is writing the code, how developer is compiling the code. In internship, your team will contain developers. You can see how they are writing the code with your eyes. So just like wait for some time. So you are going to work with developer, DevOps engineer, Scrum Master. So many real-time scenarios you can see there. First understand basic concept. So today is batch 180 testing class number 1. So testing, I started with process. I have not started directly testing. I started with a chapter called SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle Basics. Right? So we have different programmers, we have different developers. So once we have different developers and programmers, so once they build the code and they install the code in testing server. So the code which they have written, once the compiled version of executable version is ready, it is not going to be live environment directly, sir. It is not going to be live environment directly. So the code which is the code which is deployed. So the code which is deployed, they are not deploying directly into live version. They will deploy into testing version. So in Office, what happens? Sir, in Office, what happens? So there will be multiple environments. So there will be multiple environments. Sir, first, the code is tested in dev environment, dev server. Then the code has to be tested in testing server. Then code will be tested in customer server. So customer server, which we also called as, the code will be tested in customer server, which we call it as user acceptance testing server, UAT server. Then code goes to, this is the live environment. So live environment means, let's say you are using Facebook, you are using live version of Facebook. Before it comes to live, that is tested in dev environment, testing environment, UAT environment, then only that is given permission to deploy into live. Deploy is nothing but installation. So whatever the developer write a new version, that new version will not just like that go to live. It undergo 3-4 phases of testing. Then only it goes to live environment. So whenever that build is ready, it is going to be tested. It is going to be tested. So whenever that build is ready, it is going to be tested. So in testing phase, quality analyst, test engineer, tester lead. So in testing phase, quality analyst, test engineer, test lead, test manager. So these people involved in converting requirements into test strategy, test plan, test scenarios, test cases. So quality analyst, test engineer, test lead, test manager involved in converting requirements into test strategy, test plan, test scenarios and test cases, and test engineers execute tests to compare expected result with actual result. So test engineers execute test to compare expected result with actual result. Once the tests are passed, then once actual result. So based on execution status, means if tests are fail, testers report defects. If tests are fail, testers report defects. Okay, so once defect is fixed by developer, then testers retest. Once defect is fixed by developer, then testers involved in retest. Once defect is fixed by developer, then testers involved in retest. Like this. So test engineers validate software, both functional and non-functional, non-functional categories. So we have a testing process anyway so we have testing process anyway, that is our course. We have a testing process and anyway that is our testing course. Right? So we have the testing process. So in testing process, so we have different activities, sir. So in testing, what happens? So in testing life cycle, sir, so we are talking about today SDLC, software development overall life cycle. Once we start testing, we try to understand testing life cycle. So what happens in testing life cycle? SDLC, software testing life cycle. SDLC is different. SDLC means process followed in overall project. అంటే అసలు మొత్తం ప్రాజెక్ట్ బిగినింగ్ నుంచి ఎండింగ్ వరకు ఏమవుతుంది అనేది SDLC. So total project process from beginning to ending is SDLC. What happens in testing is SDLC. So what happens in testing process is SDLC, software testing life cycle. What happens in testing is SDLC, software testing life cycle. So in software testing life cycle, so we have different activities. So what happens in software testing life cycle? First we start with, again, testers also involved in requirement analysis, test planning. So requirement analysis, test planning, test case design, test case review, RTM. RTM stands for requirement traceability matrix, test environment readiness, test execution, and test results analysis. Defect management, test reporting, test closure. So these all are activities in software testing life cycle. So all these are activities in software testing life cycle. So what happens in testing from beginning to ending? This is SDLC. What are SDLC? What happens in SDLC? So SDLC means, so first, what is the first phase? Planning, analysis, design, build or coding, build, testing, deployment. So you have planning, analysis, design, build, testing, deployment. So these are SDLC activities. SDLC means end-to-end process from beginning to end-to-end process from beginning to ending. Sir, SDLC means end-to-end process from beginning to ending. Software development life cycle means end-to-end process from beginning to ending. ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ బిగినింగ్ నుంచి ఎండింగ్ వరకు, ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ ప్లానింగ్ నుంచి క్లయింట్ కి డిప్లాయ్ చేసేంత వరకు టోటల్ గా ఏం జరుగుతుంది అనేది SDLC. సో సాఫ్ట్వేర్ డెవలప్మెంట్ లైఫ్ సైకిల్ మీన్స్ end-to-end process from beginning to ending of a project. What is SDLC? SDLC means testing beginning to ending process. In testing, so what happens in testing? So end-to-end testing process from beginning to ending. So end-to-end testing process. So testing beginning to ending, what is happening is SDLC. So your course is SDLC, but you are a tester and testing is part of SDLC. Testing is part of SDLC. So you should have awareness on all the activities of a project. So tester ante testing e kaadu kadandi. See, for example, so there is a chef in restaurant. Chef must know billing process, or at least idea he should be having what happens in the restaurant. See, your testing is part of the project. Project contains planning, analysis, design, build, testing, deployment. So what are the testing phases? Requirement analysis, test planning, test case writing, test case review, traceability matrix, environment readiness, execution, defect management, reporting, closure. Sir, even you are not going to do all these activities. So these are done by test managers, tester leads, senior tester, junior tester, training. All these people will do this. So out of it, couple of activities done by managers, couple of activities done by leads, couple of activities are done by testers. So requirement analysis, test planning. So all these are the testing activities. Sir, you are not responsible to do all the testing activities. You are not responsible to do all the testing activities. Out of it, couple of activities are done by managers, test managers. Couple of activities are done by test leads. Couple of activities are done by senior testers. So you are not going to do everything from testing beginning to ending. So for example, your job may be writing test cases, executing test cases. You may involve in only 2-3 phases of the total life cycle. Okay, but to teach, we have to teach everything, because you should know what happens in testing beginning to ending. So once the testing is done, even so, one important note. So testing can be done by both manual and automation testers. So testing can be done by both manual and automation testers. So testing can be done by both manual and automation testers. Okay, nowadays one tester should have both manual and automation skills. Minimum knowledge, at least automation you may not be expert, minimum knowledge on automation may be useful. Right, sir? So this is the testing. Once testing is done, so testing means testing in testing server completed, testing in customer server completed, then it goes to live. So how it will goes to live? So there is a phase called deployment phase. The deployment is nothing but installation. For example, TV you purchased, TV installed to your home. We use that word, right? Installation. So you purchased a computer earlier. So installation of OS you do. Have you done any installation of OS? Windows operating system installation. Nowadays, the shop people are doing, but earlier, if you remember, when I was in college, so like at that time, so we have to install, otherwise installation cost is separate. So what is it? So installation of a software is nothing but deployment. Installation of a software is nothing but deployment. Deployment is nothing but installing software. So installing web application. Sir, installing web application not on your machine, it is installed in server. So this installation is done by specially skilled people, admin. Who will do this installation? Admin. So deployment, so or installation. So this is done by admin team. So admin teams are 2-3 types. Sir, class start ayi man climax kuda vachesam mem. Class start ayi climax kuda vachesam mem. Class is at 9:30. So we have Windows admin, Linux admin, AWS admin. Nowadays, cloud admins are also. So local deployments are gone now. Everything is cloud deployment. Azure admin, GCP, Google Cloud admin. So admin people are responsible to install the software. So what they do? So they involve in server configuration. So managing multiple environments. So any backups kind of thing, backup of old files, deploying or installing new files, latest version to live environment. So latest version to dev testing, live environments. So deploying or installing latest version to dev testing and live environments. Okay, so these are the total activities. So deployment, so Windows admin, Linux admin, AWS admin, server configuration. So all these things done by deployment team, sir. So deployment team skills are depends upon the OS. Is it Windows deployment, Linux deployment, or is it manually? Earlier people used to do manual deployment. Now they automated. So these automated tools are called DevOps tools. The DevOps tools are nothing but just installation, automating the installation process. Automating testing Selenium, right? Automation of installation is DevOps. So DevOps is very simple, sir. DevOps is nothing but automation of the installation. So automation of the installation. So automation of the installation is basically DevOps. So automation of the DevOps is so installation. So it is also DevOps is, see, admin job is also manual, automation, both are there. Testing also manual, automation.
Scrum Master, when Scrum Master comes to the picture, just like admin.
The Scrum Master is just a manager, total servant leader. He is not admin. Scrum Master is managing the team. Okay, so Scrum Master will introduce. So he is there in safeguarding the team from unwanted discussions, helping the team to understand the process. So Scrum Master comes into picture if your process is agile process. If your process is non-agile, no Scrum Master, manager will be there. That we will discuss very soon. So admin is not Scrum Master. Admin is just an installation engineer. Windows admin, Linux admin, networking engineer, giving access, user access. For example, one employee resigned. So when immediately testing server access should be removed. All these things are done by admin team. So admin team earlier zero coding course, but because of DevOps, admin work is automated. So because of DevOps, nowadays admin work is automated. Right, sir? So this is the deployment. So we have total. So now tell me what happens in a typical IT project: planning, analysis, design, build, testing, deployment. So tell me who involved in planning? Managers. Analysis, PA, business analyst, design, architect, build, developers, testing, quality analyst. Your official designation is QA engineer. QA engineer means quality analyst. Quality analyst. So your job is QA engineer. QA engineer means quality analyst. So deployment admin. So deployment engineer job is admin. Right, sir? What is the objective of the planning phase? What is the objective of the planning phase? So identifying the schedule, budget, resources. Identifying the schedule, budget, resources. Identifying the schedule, budget, resources. What is the analysis phase? Requirements. Requirements. So requirements are nowadays called epics and user stories. Epics and stories. So what is the design job? HLD, high level design. What is the build job? Source code. Testing job, test cases, test results. In simple words, what is required? Test cases, test results. So deployment engineers will create some scripts, installation scripts. What they create? Installation scripts. You run the scripts, the code will be deployed. That installation scripts they prepare. Sir, in these roles, every role requires programming nowadays. Even you are a requirement persons also should have knowledge on basics of architecture and all. So if you are expecting completely non-technical role, join non-technical industry only. Coming to IT without coding days are gone. So you should have logical thinking. See, we can try up to manual testing some extent. Manual testing is zero coding course only, but manual testers also companies are expecting SQL, Unix commands, programming, automation kind of skills. So if you are coming to IT industry, one suggestion, నేను కోడింగ్ చేయకూడదు ఐటీలో జాబ్ రావాలన్న మైండ్ సెట్ తో అసలు రాకండి. ఏదో టైంలో కోడింగ్ మిమ్మల్ని ఫేస్ ఒకప్పుడు ఎర్లియర్ అడ్మిన్స్ యూజ్ టు బి వెరీ హ్యాపీ జాబ్ because they used to do manually, copy paste, they go to some same work they used to do. The installation means, for example, one Samsung engineer installed 100 TVs, same process, right? ఏం మారుద్ది? ఓ చోట వాల్కి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తారు, ఓ చోట విండోకి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తారు. ప్రాసెస్ సేమ్ కదా. So local steps same kada. Go there, click something, remote operation, steps same, right? So what I'm trying to tell here, installation engineer job is very repetitive. అదే పని రోజు చేస్తాడు అతను. It used to happen manual. So suddenly, so they used to be very happy because so they see deployment engineer used to be having less coding skills, zero coding skills, zero communication skills also. Because testers daily interact with client. So testers should be good at communication. ఈ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఇంజనీర్కి ఏమీ రాదనమాట. వాడి పని కూడా ఇప్పుడు మంత్కి ఒకసారి రిలీజ్ అప్పుడు ఉండేది. రిలీజ్ అంటే వెన్ న్యూ వర్షన్. బట్ నౌ సో కంపెనీస్ see what generally any industry what they do, one person is doing repetitive work, they try to automate it. దాన్ని ఏం చేశారు, ఆటోమేషన్ అన్నారు. ఆటోమేషన్ పేరు ఏం పెట్టారు, డెవాప్స్ అని పెట్టారు. డెవాప్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, రైట్ పైథాన్ స్క్రిప్ట్, రైట్ షెల్ స్క్రిప్ట్, you name the tool, Chef, Docker, Puppet, Jenkins, Kubernetes, Ansible. So all are the tool names, but end of the day what they are doing, they are writing Python code. Tool pair edaina sare, end of the day what they are doing, sir, they are writing Python code. So this is the total. So everyone has to be learnt coding, sir. So at some point of time, if you are into IT industry, without programming you can't survive. So what are the activities of SDLC? Planning, analysis, design, build, testing, deployment. Okay. So now, so how you prepare? For example, what is SDLC is the first question. So I explained you last 1 hour, not even 1 hour. So more than 1 hour, 10 minutes we discussed, exactly 1 hour we discussed what is SDLC. How you prepare? So, sir, we are going to conduct every day mock interviews. We are going to implement from your batch. Every day we'll conduct interview. How we will conduct interview, I'll show you now. Entire your performance will be recorded. You can share that to your father WhatsApp, mother WhatsApp also. Now, so meanwhile, one person from online also. Materials here, videos, whatever the video. For example, you missed 1 day or you attended, but you are a very dull student. You want to replay once again at home. The complete material, everyday material will be given. Second, hire wire. Why this is given? Everyday interview, everyday assignments, interviews. Okay. So third one, Microsoft Teams. Outlook. This is for chat and email communication, and you will be getting Ramnasoft mail ID also. That communication is official communication. Everyone will be giving Ramnasoft mail ID. And timesheet. Every day you need to fill timesheets. Like in office, after going to the project, how you fill timesheet. Every day when you came, what time you are leaving, all the timesheet. So these 5, but out of these 3 will give you after 3 weeks. These 2 access will be given to you today only. Higher there is no separate access. Link only I am giving. So every day I am sharing the link. So today, so link I'll give to my staff, and my staff will upload in Apps Infinity. So give your answers there. Right, sir? Online. So what we discussed today till now, SDLC. So go to 10 minutes break. After the break, I'll continue my session 2. I'll be taking one more session today. I'll be continuing SDLC. Okay. So in first session, we discussed just what is SDLC. So now, please next 1 hour, please focus on the session. Very, very important. So to deliver a project, we have to follow process. That process is called SDLC. Now, I'm going to explain you SDLC approaches. Sir, there are logically 2 different approaches to build the projects. So to deliver software projects to client, there are 2 different approaches. Approach 1, sequential approach. Approach 1, sequential approach. Approach 2, iterative approach. So approach 1, sequential approach. Approach 2, iterative approach. So there are 2 different approaches to deliver the projects. One is sequential approach. Second one is iterative approach. Sequential approach, iterative approach. So to deliver the projects, there are 2 processes. Process 1, sequential. Process 2, iterative. So what is sequential approach of delivering? So sequential approach of delivering means, so 2 different SDLC approaches to deliver projects. We have 2 different SDLC approaches. We have 2 different SDLC approaches to deliver projects. One is sequential approach, iterative approach, iterative approach. So what is sequential approach? So sequential approach means once planning is completed for entire scope of the project, then we start analysis. Once analysis completed, for entire scope of the project, then design. Once design completed for entire scope of the project, then build. Once build completed for entire scope of the project, then testing. Once testing completed for entire scope of the project, then deployment. So once planning completed for entire scope of the project, then analysis. Once analysis completed for entire scope of the project, then design. Once design completed for entire scope of the project, build. Once build completed for entire scope, testing. Means, so sequential approach means, for example, we got insurance project. First, complete planning for entire project. Complete planning for entire project. Then complete requirement analysis for entire project. Complete requirement analysis for entire project. Then only we go to design. So then only we go to design. So complete planning for entire project, then requirements for entire project. Please ignore my spelling mistakes. Then design for entire project. Like this, once a phase is completed for entire scope of the project, then only next phase. This is called sequential approach of delivering a project. Sequential approach of delivering project. I'll tell you in mechanical industry example, electrical, civil, then I'll come to software industry. Mechanical industry, for example, we got an order from Government of India. We want 1 lakh cars for police department. Or we got order from Government of India, we need 10 lakhs cars for military. Okay, sequential approach means first to do planning for all 1 lakh cars. Then collect requirement for these cars. Then complete design for all the cars. Complete design for all the cars. Then complete manufacturing of all the cars. Test all the cars, hand over all the cars on same day. Okay, so planning you have done, requirements, design, manufacturing, test, handover. Now you handed over all 1 lakh cars to Government of India. Government of India rejected, saying that that is not the expected design. They are not happy. They asked for correction. So it is a time waste, rework. All these things are lost, right? So that's why sequential approach is becoming a failure day by day. Companies shifted delivering the projects in IT industry with iterative approach. So iterative approach is nothing but agile approach. Agile follows iterative. That's why every project in IT industry is nowadays agile project. So I'll tell you agile later. First, sequential approach we try to understand. Sequential approach means first you complete planning for entire scope of the project. Let's say we'll discuss civil industry example. We were planning to construct 50 floors building, 30 floors building, for example, 30 floors building. What is sequential approach? Do planning for 30 floors, requirement for 30 floors, then design for 30 floors, then construction for 30 floors, testing for 30 floors, hand over all 30 floors on same day. This is sequential approach. So sequential approach is followed by SDLC models called waterfall model, V model. Waterfall model, V model follows sequential approach. What is waterfall model? What is V model? Both are processes which follow sequential approach. That was interview question in 2006. Definitely not in 2023. 2023 interview question is what is agile? What is iterative? But when I have attended interviews, the question was explain differences between V model and waterfall model. Before 2009. 2009 onwards, explain differences between agile model and sequential. Right, sir? So sequential approach is followed by SDLC models, waterfall model and V model. Waterfall model and V model. What is the problem with SDLC waterfall model and V model? What is the problem with waterfall model and V model? See, sequential approach problem is, for example, now all 30 floors, each floor 10 flats, 300 flats you handed over to customer. Customer is not happy with the design. Customer is not happy with the interior. Customer is not happy with some other thing. So then rework you have to do on all 300 flats. Minor work, but it has to do on all 300 flats, right? So this style of delivering phase-driven approach, step-by-step driven approach days are gone. So what is sequential approach? It's a planned driven, it's a sequential, it is step-by-step, it's a phase-by-phase, it's a phase-driven, planned, step-by-step. Once you complete one phase for entire scope of the project, then next phase. So to repeat in Telugu, sir, oka phase mottam first planning anta ayin tarvata analysis. Analysis mottam ayin tarvata design. డిజైన్ మొత్తం అయిన తర్వాత కోడింగ్. సో అట్లా ఒక ఫేజ్ కంప్లీట్ అయిన తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ ఫేజ్కి వెళితే అది సీక్వెన్షియల్ అప్రోచ్. సో ఒక ఫేజ్ మొత్తం అయిన తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ ఫేజ్కి వెళితే దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ సీక్వెన్షియల్ అప్రోచ్. So once a phase is completed, once a phase we complete perfectly, then we go to next phase. This is called sequential approach of delivering a project. Sequential approach has its own advantages, its drawbacks also. So what is the advantage of sequential approach? For example, you are building a software with a known domain, and I mean known domain means already the same, let's say Microsoft has built same domain projects from last 20 years. Fixed requirements. So scope of the project is fixed. It is not going to be changed. So known domain, existing requirements, existing technology, old technology project, Java project. So it is not sudden surprise to developers. So for those kind of projects, up to some extent, sequential approach is okay, but sequential approach is not suitable if client is coming up with requirement changes continuously. It means, for example, client is not clear with the requirements, then we never encourage that project to be developed in sequential. మీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ సీక్వెన్షియల్ లో చేయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ అన్ని ఫ్రీజ్ అవ్వాలి. అప్పుడు కొంతవరకు ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ని సీక్వెన్షియల్ లో ట్రై చేయొచ్చు. So, see, who decides this? Project manager. That is not your decision. Don't worry about it. Then why you are learning? You have to understand the process. You have to work in the project. So you are not the person. Well, don't think like, whether this project is sequential iterative. That is not your decision. The client decision, product manager, project manager, these people involved in that. But what you need to understand, why companies shifted from sequential style of delivering to iterative style of delivering. So companies sequential approach నుంచి iterative approach కి ఎందుకు shift అయ్యారు? Because as I told, in sequential approach, if you are releasing entire software as a one package to customer, right? But what happens in iterative approach? What happens in iterative approach? Let's say we got a customer. So for example, this guy is the insurance company claims department, as we discussed in morning. This guy is a State Farm employee. So we have the different customers. So these are the clients are like, so they started, so giving requirements are their ideas. So they started, they came up with, so their ideas kind of thing. So they came up with ideas, idea 1, idea 2 kind of thing. So they are not clear what is the entire project is. They came up with some ideas. So what we will do? So from these ideas, we call those ideas or requirements as a backlog folder. We ask them to keep it in backlog folder. This folder named as a backlog. Backlog folder is nothing but requirement folder. Requirements are nothing but ideas of customer. So backlog folder. So from this backlog folder, we ask our client, tell me, so which feature is rank 1 or top priority? Which feature is rank 2? So little less priority. Which feature is rank 3? Which feature is rank 4? So like that, we will give ranks. So now we will form one team. So this team contains, so this is a team. So this team contains, we have business analyst here, developers, testers, DevOps engineer, so we have here business analyst, business analyst, developer, tester, DevOps engineer. So we have here business analyst, developer, tester, DevOps engineer. This is one team. What this team will do, they will select few requirements. So they will go with 2 weeks iteration. What is iteration time frame? 2 weeks. 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 2 months. The rule is take some short time frame. That's a 2 weeks, one iteration. What is iteration, sir? Iteration is nothing but time frame. Iteration is nothing but time frame, time box. So they're going to take 2 weeks, one iteration. They're going to take 2 weeks, iteration one. So in iteration one, this 2 weeks iteration, they're going to consider so they take some important requirements. Okay, so they're going to so they're going to do requirement analysis, planning they will do for only for only minimum requirements. For only minimum requirements they do planning, they do analysis, they do design, they do build, they do testing, and they deploy. And they deploy this to the customer. They deploy this to live environment. Sir, they have not built entire project. They built product with minimum features. They built product with minimum features. We call it as MVP, minimally viable product. Minimally viable product. So we have not built all 30 floors building. We built, so we complete we built one ground floor flat we built. One flat out of 300 flats, we built one flat, but that flat with minimum features means that flat is ready with interior, that flat is ready with water supply, power supply, minimum features are ready. So what I want to tell here, so one minimum application, minimally viable software, minimally viable product, minimally viable application is ready. So what is ready here, sir? Minimally viable application, minimally viable software, minimally viable product is ready. This is not the entire software. So because how can this team can build in 2 weeks entire software? Impossible, right? World mantras are there. So it's practically not possible to build entire product because in sequential approach we took two years time. Here also we need at least 1 year, 6 months. So in first iteration, what we are going to build? In first iteration, minimal application, first version is ready with the minimum features. So in iterative approach, we never focus on building the complete product. We focus on first version with the minimum features. So I'll give you live example. For example, so iteration one, we want to build e-commerce application like Amazon, Flipkart. We want to build Flipkart. In iteration one, okay, what we are going to build? Simple login, simple search. Add to cart is not ready because initially when we are launching a new e-commerce application, initially how many customers will be having? 100, 500, 1000, right? Lesser number of few customers. So we tell customers, boss, add to cart is not ready. Only login is ready. Search, simple search. Search with one criteria. Search with the title is working. Search with the description. Search with the price. Search with the range. Search with the tag. Search with the order. All these work in future. Simple login. That is also just you enter user ID, password. Login is working. Login with Gmail. Login with Facebook. Login with LinkedIn will be ready next after a few iterations. So now very simple login is ready. Very simple search is ready. Very simple payment option. We are giving only one payment option right now. Payment with debit card is working. Payment with PayPal, payment with the credit card, payment with PhonePe, payment with Paytm. All these things will be ready in future iterations. So what is ready now? Simple login, simple search, simple payment. For example, customer says, I want to pay with credit card. Sir, we are a new application. We are in first iteration. So right now only debit card we are supporting. In 2-3 months, we will be ready with the credit card. display some scrolling message. Right? So now first iteration is ready, right? First iteration, what is ready? The basic version of the application is ready. In how much time? 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month. So the basic application is ready. So once the basic application is ready, so we'll showcase it to customer and we take the feedback from the customer. So we are not giving entire product to customer at a time. That is waterfall model, that is sequential approach, that is V model, that is traditional approach. Traditional approach, sequential approach, waterfall model, V model, all are same. Those are called traditional style of delivering the project. Even today, many companies, startup companies are following old style. So because lack of awareness, they don't know what is agile, what is iterative approach. See, generally, startup companies invest more on application than process. MNCs invest more on process. That is what difference, right? If you go to small hospital and big hospital, if you go to a very big hospital, they follow some process standards. So anyway, see, sequential approach is followed by so very traditional way of development. So in iterative approach, so we have taken so top priority features. So first version is ready. So what it contains, first version? Sir, I am trying to explain you iterative approach. I'm trying to show you how to build a project with iterative approach. How to build a project with iterative approach. So what is iteration 1? Time limit. 2 weeks is iteration 1. So let's say when we started, let's say today we started March 2023, iteration 1. So start date, end date. End date Friday, 31st. When it is March. So March 20 is the start date. And when it is going to be iteration is going to be ended? March 31st. Two weeks iteration. Iteration start date. Iteration start date. March 20. We are iteration 1. Iteration end date. Okay. So what we are going to launch here? Simple login plus search plus payment 1 option. So we are not ready with the entire project, sir. Login 1, login option 1, search option 1, payment option 1. So login option 1, search option 1, payment option 1. So this is ready. So now we entered into iteration 2. Sir, this is called MVP. It's a minimally viable product. But it's useful to customer. Customer can start using it. So working, tested, useful software with minimal features are ready. Now iteration 2. Sir, what is iteration 2? What is iteration 2? So what is iteration 2? Iteration 2, when is start date? Not April 1st, sir. April 1st is Saturday. Are you going to office on Saturday? No, right? April 3rd. When is the end date? This is iteration 3. Sir, iteration 3, already these features are ready. So iteration 3 is nothing but iteration 1 What is iteration 1? These features. Now we will take customer feedback. So customer tell, I don't like this color, I want this feature, login I have not expected like this. So okay. So don't worry, it is not end of the project, beginning of the project, only one iteration completed. You don't think much or don't worry about all your concerns, we'll incorporate. Tell me how you want login. We have given login one version. You are not happy, tell me how you want. So that feedback will incorporate. Plus what else customer is expecting. So, sorry. Plus what else customer is expecting. My nose is blocked with sinusitis. So, plus what else customer is expecting. Some new changes. For example, customer expected, I want to add to cart immediately. So customer expected, I want to add to cart immediately. Right? So this is iteration 2. Iteration 3 also we give demo to customer. So end of the thing, we give demo to customer, customer use it. So we'll give demo and we take feedback from the customer. Every iteration, we are giving demo to customer, we are getting feedback from the customer. So iteration 2 also, we are giving demo and we are getting feedback. So now iteration based on iteration 2 experiences, iteration 3 we have to plan. So based on iteration 2, okay, so when is iteration 3? April 14th is over. April 17th. So I hope you understand what is iteration now. 20. So in a year, how many iterations we will get? How many? See, in a year, how many weeks? Year lo any weeks are again. Month lo gadu. Malli meer bank exams prepare avatam, malli ikkada avatam. Competitive ఏం చేశారండి కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ 52 to 53
52 or 50.
Okay, 52. Well, let's consider 52. How many iterations? Iterations. Sir, one iteration is 2 weeks.
Around
many
25 or
iterations
26. 25 or
26 or 25 or 26.
26.
Okay. So, what is your age now? Majority of the people. Can I take 25? Average? Okay. Average of the class. 25. In your life, how many years you are expecting you will live happily without any health diseases and all? 60 years will take. Because of medicine and all, 60 will consider. 25 is over. How many are there? 35. So 35 into how many iterations you have? 25. So 35 into 25, what is the number? So those many iterations of life you have. So iteration means 2 weeks. Every iteration we give demo to customer. Sir, when I joined Satyam Computers, my first project, still I remember. I'll share this experience with you. Already the project which I joined as a tester, they started 4 years back. It's a big project. 4 years back they started. Next 3 months, they were having some kind of a demo to customer. End of the project. They're in end of the project. So testing, they have some pressure. They have taken freshers like us because we are on bench only. We completed our training. Just we are graduates, completed training. So they taken to that project. So their expectation is we help them in some kind of a ad hoc testing kind of thing. So we joined that project. So the project team is so tensed. And they are coming on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, all these things like no. They're so tense. Evening, night, they're staying at 11, 12 o'clock kind of thing. One of senior, I asked him, why you people are so tensed for the project? He told, we have production release in next 3 months. We have the same word he told. We have the production release next 3 months. So as I told, I was a fresher at that time. I don't know what is production, what is release, what is project. We are just like, even though I'm from BTech computer science, these words are like, no, they directly train what our faculty do, college faculty, Java, heading, syntax, right? Why Java used, where Java used. First, they don't know, that's why they don't teach it. It is not their mistake. Because faculty are not from IT industry. Faculty are from academics. And that is a rule from JNTU. These kind of surprises happens in India only. JNTU rule is PhD, MTech, BTech, eppadu work chestadu office lo. So without working on single Java project, they tell I'm MTech computer science professor entered college ki velte. Project ante teliyadu. Ante I'm not joking on faculty, sir. The system I'm joking. ఇప్పుడు JNTU, PhD పెద్దలకి brain ఉండాలి. So lakhs of students you are giving training on BTech, IT, CSE. Forget about non-IT people. Triple C అది మాట్లాడలేదు. IT people కి ట్రైనింగ్ ఇచ్చేవాడు. ఎక్కడి నుంచి రావాలి? రూల్ ఏం పెట్టాలి వాళ్ళు? వాట్ ఈస్ ద క్వాలిఫికేషన్? They should work in Capgemini, Infosys, Accenture, TCS for 5 years, at least 5 years. Show that certificate, then become the professor. ఆడేం పెడతాడు? MTech, BTech, PhD. శాలరీ అంత 20,000, 30,000. 20,000, 30,000 హైదరాబాద్ ఆఫీస్ బాయ్ కూడా పనిచేయరు. So that's why no one explained us what is deployment, what is testing, what is project, what is process, what is release, what is deployment, what is server, what is environment. Write C, write syntax, Java, write syntax. Next semester, DBMS, write syntax. అసలు DBMS ఏంటి, బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ అంటే ఏంటి, బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ తో ఏం చేస్తారు, ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఎలా ఇంటిగ్రేట్ అవుద్ది, నో వన్ టీచర్స్, రైట్? Similarly, so that's why I asked this question to my senior in the project. So one Telugu guy was there at that time. One అడిగాను అనమాట, అన్న ఎందుకని ఇంత టెన్షన్ పడుతున్నారు అన్న, మనం అప్పుడే ట్రైనింగ్ కాలేజ్ అయిపోయింది, శాలరీ వస్తుంది, మనం హ్యాపీగా ఉన్నాం. వీళ్ళు 4 years పనిచేస్తారు అదే ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో. వాళ్ళ మొహంలో చాలా టెన్షన్ చూసి నేను ఎందుకు ఎంత టెన్షన్ పడుతుంది అట్లా అడిగాను. నేను అడిగితే ప్రొడక్షన్ రిలీజ్ తమ్ముడు అన్నాడు. ప్రొడక్షన్ రిలీజ్ అన్నాడు. వాట్ ఈజ్ ప్రొడక్షన్ రిలీజ్ అని అడిగాను తెలియక. పిలిచి ఏం చెప్పాడు నాకు, అరే మన జాబ్ ఉంచాలో తీసేయాలని డిసైడ్ చేసే రోజులు అని చెప్పాడు. అంటే వై హీ టోల్డ్ దట్ వర్డ్, సో హీ ఆన్సర్డ్ మీ, దట్ డేట్ ఈస్ సో సెన్సిటివ్ టు క్లయింట్. ఇఫ్ దట్ రిలీజ్ ఫెయిల్స్ ఇన్ ప్రొడక్షన్, ఇట్స్ ఎ 4 years project. If client is not happy, 4 years effort will be wasted. So sensitive. So the release success is important. It's like a movie release only. The new version you release it to customer. Customer is not happy, it's a disaster. Customer will complain or they will not release money to company. So many things happens. That was the old style, sir. Now every 2 weeks is a iteration. Every second Friday is a release now. Earlier, they have seen release after 4 years, after 2 years, after 3 years. The waterfall style was, sequential approach style was, complete entire project, then release. What is iterative style? Build application with minimum features and release. So every second Friday is a iteration release. Every second Friday, new version of the software will be released to live environment. Every second Friday, we will take feedback from the customer. The difference between old style and new style. Forget about these technical words. Old style, first complete planning, 3 months. Requirements, 6 months. Design, 3 months, 1 year gone. Development, 1 year. Testing, 1 year. How much duration? 3 months, 3 years. Then release. Now how frequent release is going on? Every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks for selected requirements, for minimally viable requirements, take requirements, design, code, test, and give it to customer. Take the feedback from the customer. Sir, if you are the client, which model you will be happy? Iterative. Because every 2 weeks we are giving demo to customer, we are taking feedback from customer, and we are incorporating that feedback in the next iteration. So customer satisfaction is very, very high. And one more thing, for example, sir, Amazon CEO, Flipkart CEO, both got one idea at same time. Okay, they both got one idea. That idea is, for example, they want to, if you buy a product, they want to give life insurance free for you. They both got some idea. Flipkart people followed waterfall model. Amazon people followed iterative model. Tell me, in which model the early version of the application will be ready? Iterative. May not be full version, but at least what, so the idea will be converted to software in iterative model very fastly. Why companies move to iterative model? Companies want to launch quick software, early software to market. So tell me, which bus software you are using? Bus booking. Okay. So which movie ticket booking you are using? Book My Show. So which cab services you are using? Ola. So which e-commerce platform you are using? Amazon or Flipkart, right? Sir, most of these are first in the market. Amazon invested lakhs of crores to beat Flipkart because Flipkart is first in the market. Uber invested huge amount to beat Ola because Ola is first in the market. So most of the Zomato is first in the market. So Swiggy is doing huge work, but Zomato is first in the market. Sir, idea has to be converted to software early. That is the very quickly. That is the 50% success to business. So how idea fastly converted to software? If you follow waterfall model, if you follow traditional software development, if you follow sequential approach, that takes a lot of time to build, deliver the software. Customer has to wait long time. But in iterative software, first version itself is a working software. But it is a minimally features. So iteration 2 is an increment of iteration 1. Iteration 3 is an increment of iteration 2. Iteration 4 is an increment of iteration 3. Like that, we release software till customer is happy. So how many iterations? 50 iterations, 100 iterations, till customer says, I have the budget and I am happy. My budget is completed, or so I got all the features. So, sir, iterative style. In iterative style, we can launch our idea into software very quickly. And we can take customer feedback. Every iteration we take customer feedback. So tell me one thing. If you delivered already 30 iterations to client, 30th iteration client told, I'm not happy with software. We reject the client because, sir, first iteration you told good feedback. Second iteration you good feedback. Every iteration you are using. So in iterative approach, end of every iteration, new version of the software will be released to live environment. Customer feedback will be taken. Based on that, future iterations will be built. So just to repeat in Telugu, the iterative approach lo, prati 2 weeks ki కొన్ని features తీసుకొని వాటిని ప్లానింగ్ చేసి, డిజైన్ చేసి, బిల్డ్ చేసి, టెస్ట్ చేసి, లైవ్ వర్షన్ కస్టమర్కి ఇస్తాం. కస్టమర్ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ తీసుకుంటాం. కస్టమర్ నాట్ హ్యాపీ అన్నాడు అనుకోండి, ఎక్సలెంట్. ఆ నాట్ హ్యాపీ అన్నది ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో చెప్పే బదులు 2 weeks పోయింది. సో ఇటరేషన్ 2లో అది కరెక్ట్ చేసిస్తాం. సో కస్టమర్ వచ్చి నాకు ఈ చేంజెస్ కావాలి, ఎప్పుడైనా ప్రొడక్ట్ చూపించినప్పుడు వచ్చే చేంజెస్ వేరుంటాయి. సో iterative approach, we launch early software. In iterative approach, that is the first advantage. In iterative approach, we launch early software. In iterative approach, we can take early feedback from the customer. So in iterative approach, we have early testing. Every iteration we have testing. Every iteration we have development. Hope you understand, sir. So earlier was a phase driven. Sequential approach is phase driven. First planning, then analysis, then design, then building. Now then build. Now what is the approach? Every iteration 1. So how iterative approach happens? Sir, today class agenda is you should understand what is iterative approach, because nowadays every project is following iterative approach, sir. Or I'll show you one presentation to you. So I'll show you one image, sir. You will easily understand iterative approach. So in a high level, how many processes we have? Sequential, iterative. So today we started class with this. First I explained what is SDLC. What is SDLC? So planning, analysis, design, build, test, deploy. So there are different approaches to build software, sir. Sequential, incremental, iterative. Forget about incremental, I'll tell later. First sequential, iterative. Only understand these two. If I add incremental, it will be a little confusing to you. Sequential, iterative. So traditional models, waterfall, V model follow sequential. So this is oldest topic, sir. So if in interview they ask, do you know waterfall model? If you say no, it's not a wrong answer. You can tell, I started my career in 2017. I have 5 years experience in manual testing. All 5 years I worked in agile projects. Never I get an opportunity to work on waterfall model because I started my career with agile directly. Agile is nothing but iterative. Agile is nothing but iterative. Hope you understand. So tell interviewer, I'm having zero knowledge on waterfall model and V model. Why you have zero knowledge? Because you started career with directly with agile. Sir, how we see, are you directly using smartphone, right? So are you using landline phone or normal phone or writing letters now? Why? Because latest. In office also, process wise, what is latest? Agile. Iterative. Iterative famous is agile. So this is a sequential approach drawbacks. What are the sequential approach drawbacks? No working software is produced until late in the life cycle. It's a high risk project because end of the project, if client says like, it's not okay, then it's a risk. So don't try complex projects with waterfall. Don't try long-term projects with waterfall. Very small projects do waterfall. A very big, complex, long-term, ongoing projects, never try with waterfall. Right, sir? So in iterative approach, what are the so many popular methodologies in iterative approach, which is very popular? All these comes under iterative approach. Prototyping, rapid application development. See, no need to remember all the names, sir. Iterative model is nothing but agile. Agile comes under iterative. I'll share these materials with you. Don't worry. So this is the phase-driven approach, sir. So I'll show you one image. Sir, this is sequential approach. What is sequential approach here? First you complete the planning, then only analysis. Complete the analysis, then only design. Complete the design, then only build. Complete the build, then only testing. Complete the testing, then only deployment. So first you complete the planning, then only analysis. Complete the analysis, then only design. This is sequential approach, phase by phase. What is iterative approach? 2 weeks iteration, all the teams involved. What they do? They do planning, analysis, everything they do, they give it to customer. They take the feedback from the customer, then iteration 2. So then iteration 3. So in iterative approach, so once iteration 1 we complete, then iteration 2. Then once iteration 2 complete, iteration 3. Iteration 3 complete. In each iteration, all the teams involved. Okay, so see this diagram. Sir, this is customer comes up with new ideas. Customer put this in the backlog folder. This is the project backlog. So we may not develop everything in first iteration. So release or iteration, both are same. Release, sprint, iteration, all are same. Release, sprint, release equal to sprint, sprint equal to iteration. So release equal to sprint, sprint equal to iteration. So in release, sprint, iteration, so this is the total project backlog. We get some requirements. So this is the release level backlog. This is the iteration level backlog. So iteration 1. So are we developing everything in the backlog in iteration 1? No, we are selecting. That's why this image is first you are selecting couple of requirements. So what is happening here? So planning, analysis, design, development, testing, all the teams involved, they convert it into working software. They convert it into working software. So this is converted to working software. So once this is converted to working software, so now this is given demo to customer and this is a feedback from customer. This demo to customer. What is this loop line, sir? Feedback from customer. So customer can come up with new ideas. Customer can come up with the feedback. Based on that iteration 2, then iteration 3, then iteration 4, then iteration 5. So tell me, in iterative approach, continuous delivery of software happens. Yes or no? Continuous delivery model. So iterative approach is nothing but continuous delivery model. So here, so we start with iteration 1, then we deliver to customer. Iteration 2, we deliver to customer. Every new iteration is incremental version of previous iteration. Every new iteration is incremental version of previous iteration. So continuous delivery of the software. Sir, every iteration we need tester. Yes or no? Every iteration deployment. Every iteration development. Yes. So in every iteration, we have the development, we have the testing, we have the deployment. Dev, testing, deployment. Then new features, development, testing, deployment. Then new features, development, testing, deployment. So this is what the current generation, not even current, sir. I worked on this kind of a project since 2008. But still many companies are following waterfall. But in resume, if you mention, I have knowledge on iterative approach. I have knowledge on agile approach. Agile is nothing but iterative. So how to deliver a project with agile, I'll tell you very, very soon. But first understand, sir, what we discussed today. What is SDLC? What is SDLC? Planning, analysis, design, build, testing, deployment. So we'll do quick recap next 15 minutes, then I'll stop the discussion. So iterative approach, agile, benefits and all we'll discuss in next class. Just a basic, what is SDLC? What is iterative? That's it. So I want to show you one material. I'll share some materials to you. Right, sir. So this is what we started today. See, software development model, SDLC provides a structure for executing the activities needed for developing the software systems. So to develop a software system, we need to follow process. In simple words, what is required, sir? Process, structure, process, all are same. So to deliver a project, software development model means SDLC means it provides a structure for executing the activities needed for developing the software systems. So in simple way of explanation, SDLC nothing but process to deliver the project. Sir, SDLC అంటే ఏంటి? సార్ ఇప్పుడు వరకు విన్ననా వినకపోయినా అట్లీస్ట్ సమ్మరీ అయినా వినండి. SDLC అంటే ఏంటి? సాఫ్ట్వేర్ కంపెనీలో ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ ని డెలివర్ చేయాలంటే ఒక ప్రాసెస్ ఉండాలి. ఆ ప్రాసెస్ ఏమంటారు? SDLC అంటారు. So if you follow process, the outcome will be more effective. That's why companies follow process. Okay, see, you are talking about Java, .NET, testing, DevOps, all these are technologies side. Okay, so first process is important to deliver the project. That process is called SDLC. That process is called SDLC. Everyone is clear? First statement, no confusion, right? So a traditional SDLC contain these pages. What are the pages, sir? Planning, analysis, design, build, test, deploy. So what is planning? So defining the high level requirements and stakeholder goals, define the business problem and scope, assess current capabilities, define some solution options. So all these things are discussed in the planning phase of the project. See, main planning outcome is coming up with the development plan, resource plan, testing plan, deployment plan, budget planning, schedule planning, resources planning, environment planning, tools planning, testing planning, development planning. All these are part of the planning phase. Sir, you need not to by heart these things, sir. Even without, like, no, see, concept only you have to understand. No one will ask you this in interview. But you should know, first of all, what is a process in the project. So then what is the next phase, sir? Analysis. Who will involve in analysis? BA. So what BA will do, sir? What BA will do? What is the BA job? Analyze business process and understand the problem domain. BA main job is analyze the business process and understand the problem domain. And he is going to obtain, document, verify, analyze requirements. He is mainly the person who obtain the requirement, document the requirement, review. The verification is nothing but review, analysis of requirement, prioritization of requirement. All these things will be done by BA. Then what is the phase, sir? Design phase. So design phase is done by architects. Okay, then build phase, then testing phase, then deployment phase. Sir, you need not to understand line by line. You need not to by heart. There is no 16 marks question. You are not in college. I am teaching you this only to, you should understand software project process. So software project process. So planning, analysis, design, build, test, deploy. So I'll share this document. Sir, here I have given a couple of questions. What is difference between planning and analysis? Planning focus on defining the high level requirements, whereas analysis focus on defining the detailed requirements. So detailed requirements, then planning defines the business problem and scope. Analysis analyze business process in detail to help detail out the requirements. Planning primary role is played by the architect and project manager. In analysis, primary role is played by the business analyst. In planning phase, primary intent of interacting with the customer is defining the business requirement, scope, feasibility, and strategy. In analysis phase, primary intent of interacting with the customer is getting the detailed requirements. Okay, sir. So what is difference between analysis and design? Proposed deliverable of analysis is requirement. Okay. So what is the proposed deliverable of design? So proposed deliverable of design is HLD. See, requirement phase outcome is requirements. Design phase outcome is design. So analysis mainly focus on what are the processes in the system? What are the events in the system? What is the data that system handle? But design focus on how are the processes automated? How are the events captured? How is the data stored? So in analysis phase, requirements are validated with the customer. In design phase, design is validated with the requirement. Requirements correcta kada ani check cheste adi analysis phase. Design correct ga vachindho ledo check cheste design phase. Design emo requirements to check chestaru. Requirements emo customer to check chestaru. See, you need not understand this depth again. I'm telling basic phases: planning, analysis, design, build, test, and deploy. So what are the different approaches we discussed? What are the different approaches, sir? Sequential approach. What happens in sequential approach? Phases: planning, analysis, design, develop, testing are sequential. So once a phase is completed, it is not revisited, and the deliverable of that phase are considered as the final. So incremental approach I have not explained. Ignore. I'll tell you later. Iterative approach. So what is iterative approach also? I have given a couple of examples. So in traditional, we have multiple waterfall, V model, and overlapping waterfall. In iterative approach, what is famous? Agile. So when generally projects will go to sequential approach? So stable technology and application architecture, well understood and stable requirements. But when we go for if the project requirements are unknown, if the project is not stable, iterative approach, it is suitable for large and complex projects. Projects utilizing new technology, so then go for iterative approach. Logically, Agile comes under iterative approach. Agile comes under iterative approach. So I'll share just for reference these documents with you. Venkatesh, your mail ID, share it to Pawan Kalyan. The mail ID, Venkatesh. So now, sir, hope you understand this diagram. So tell me, I'll ask a couple of questions, a small quiz kind of thing. So tell me, question 1. If client is expecting early version of software, which SDLC approach? Please answer only selected people. I'll be asking you questions. So you need not, if you know answer, please, you need not to release. If client is expecting early version of the software, which SDLC approach is better? So anyone from last 2 rows? Last. Next to you. Mir cheppandi. Very good. I appreciate. So good answer. Sir, if client is expecting early version of the software, which SDLC approach is suitable? Iterative. In which SDLC approach we can get early customer feedback. I'll select the people. In which SDLC approach we can get early customer feedback. Last. Iterative. Why? Can you explain? Why? Every 2 weeks you are developing, testing, giving demo to customer. So if it is good or bad, customer is giving feedback. In which approach we can allow customer changes or requirements late in the development. In which approach we can allow customer changes or requirement changes late in the development. Sequential is 100% wrong answer. Sir, in
Waterfall
sequential, phase by phase, what we discussed. Once requirements are freeze, then design. But in iterative, see, customer, the clearly I have written, you are allowing customer changes. Every new iteration, you are accepting customer changes. So what is the answer here? Iterative. Sir, in sequential approach, first define requirement, then project. In iterative, define only minimal requirements first. So there chala difference undi ikkada. Mottam project requirements anni define chestene next phase ki velle sequential. Minimal requirements to kuda project start cheyagalagite adi iterative. In iterative approach, requirement changes are continuously allowed till end of the project. Because every new iteration, we are focusing on only certain requirements. We are not focusing all the requirements. This is important point, sir. What is the answer? So, sir, mainly 3 reasons. Question number 4. Tell me, explain 3 reasons why iterative. So explain 3 reasons why iterative is like, why companies are following why iterative. Top 3 reasons. Early software, not time saving is also, but early software. Then early customer, very good. Early customer feedback. Then continuous, requirements changes are flexible to requirement changes. You need not to define flexible to requirement changes. So early software, early customer feedback, flexible to requirement changes. Okay, sir. Explain 3 drawbacks of sequential approach. 3 drawbacks of sequential approach. So these are the only drawbacks, sir. First drawback, no early software. Customer has to wait till end of all the phases. End of all the phases to get the project. No early software. Customer has to wait till end of all the phases to get the project. No early customer feedback. So customer involvement, entire scope, end of the project. So it shows high resistance to requirement changes. High resistance to requirement changes means once requirements are freeze, then only design. See, each phase is built with entire scope of the project. So very difficult to add new changes. Very difficult to add new changes. Very difficult to add new changes. Sir, no early software, no early customer feedback, high resistance to changes. So this, to overcome these three failures only, this iterative has come. So question number 5. Yeah, question number 6. Okay, so last middle mid-Japan. What is SDLC? What is SDLC? SDLC is nothing but SDLC is a process to deliver a project from beginning to ending. Okay. So next question. What are the SDLC phases? Me pakkana. Vishwanath pakkana. What are the phases of SDLC? Planning, analysis, design, build, test, deploy. So planning, analysis, design, build, test, deploy. What is planning? What is planning? Miru.
As per the customer requirements, we have to plan the.
So planning means project manager involved in schedule, resources, budget, test planning, development planning, deployment. All this planning will be done. So what is analysis? Who will involve in analysis?
Business analyst.
Business.
Analyst.
So convert end user expectations into requirements. End user expectations into requirements. What is design phase? Converting requirement into solution diagram. Converting requirements into solution diagram. What is build phase?
Convert design into actual program.
Yeah. So build phase means source code development, code review, multiple versions of code. Even developers will do local testing, unit testing. What is unit testing also I'll teach. All these things comes under build. What is testing? What is testing? Checking quality of software. So here test planning. What are the phases of SDLC? What are the phases of SDLC, software testing life cycle? I told you, if you remember, what are the phases of SDLC? So these are the testing life cycle activities. This is your course. We'll be discussing first just basics of process you are understanding. So don't try to be master in one day itself. And again, sir, this batch is already we freeze this batch. Today is the last day to take admission to this batch because it's a full day training. If you miss one day, it's not one day actually. In a normal training institute, you join, it is equal to 4 or 5 days. The main objective is in 1 month, we have to prepare your resume. And in 1 month, you have to go to internship. So every day important, sir. Every day important. So next 3 to 4 weeks are very, very important for me to train you. So ఒక్క రోజు నువ్వు మిస్ అయితే ఒక్క రోజు కాదు అది 1 week తో సమానం. That is the reason even we are giving video recording also. Okay, but so please maintain the continuity. ఒక్క రోజు మిస్ అయినా సరే మీకు నెక్స్ట్ డే క్లాస్ అర్థం కాదు. So these are the phases of SDLC: requirement analysis, test planning, test case design. Okay, then what is deployment? What is deployment? Who will do deployment? So who will do in who will involve in deployment? Admin. So what they do? Mainly server configuration, all these things they will do. Okay, so explain how to build e-commerce website with iterative approach. Explain how to build e-commerce website with iterative approach. What I told you, sir, iteration 1. What we focus on iteration 1? Simple login, simple search, simple payment. Then iteration 2. Iteration 1 plus feedback, customer feedback plus add to cart. Some new feature. Like that, you continue. For example, in next iteration, you add vouchers. Like this, iteration by iteration, you can write 10 iterations also. Just your idea of how to build e-commerce website with iterative approach. Just I have written for 3 iterations only. You can write it for like, just like add some with your idea, you can add more iterations. So total, how many questions we got, sir? 15. So 14, huh? Sir, 14, it's okay. One more question then. So then explain how to build e-commerce website with sequential approach. So explain how to build e-commerce website with sequential approach. So planning for all requirements. Then analysis for all requirements. Design for entire project. Build for entire project. Testing for entire project. deployment for entire project. Sir, one key point, I have not explained waterfall model. I have not explained V model. I have not explained Agile. I have not started also. Tomorrow I touch what is waterfall model, what is V model, what is Agile. That is next topic. So waterfall avaledu, V model kuda avaledu, Agile kuda avaledu. Just we are in the introduction to SDLC. Today class is introduction to SDLC. So what you have to do? So these questions, like whatever the documents, first I'll share email to you. So in addition to these are the general materials. In addition to these points, I'm sharing you. Classroom files also I'm sharing. Classroom files means in batch 180 folder, I have couple of information which I documented for you. I'm sharing all these files. So all these files will be updated to you. So, and so today afternoon in the study hour, so what you have to do, you have to prepare and you have to write answers, right? I'll be giving this link also. So from today, Venkatesh, these people have to upload their answers. All answers we can see. We are going to, it's okay, sir. Sir, you are dull. Okay, post the dull, that answer only. But somewhere we have to start. For me, video answers, see 15 questions. For all these 15 questions, I need your video answer. ఏదో ఒక రోజు మొదలు పెట్టాలి కదా మనం రేపో ఎల్లుండో మీరు అందరూ జాయిన్ అయిన జాబ్ కోసమే కదా హౌ మెనీ ఆఫ్ యూ జాయిన్ ఫర్ జాబ్ సో యూ విల్ స్టార్ట్ వర్కింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ టుడే I delete this post. Archive this post. So this link I'll share with you. So separate login is not required, Venkatesh. A link open అయిపోతుంది. Already we tested morning. Ready for mock interview 1? So today mock interview 1 for you. So your answers I'll show you tomorrow here. నాకు మాత్రం ఫ్యాకల్టీకి ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్గా ఉందండి ఇది మాత్రం 2 days నుంచి నేను ఇదే తాగుతున్నాను ఇదే తింటున్నాను దీంతోనే ఆలోచిస్తున్నాను 2 days back only explode this. With your batch only we are implementing batch 180 only. So batch 180 mock interview 1. Introduction to SDLC. Topic name. Instructions, sir, must be in English. Answers must be in English. And so video must be clear. Video must be clear and minimum 1 minute to each question. Minimum 1 minute. నేను మీకు 3 hours చెప్పాను మిమ్మల్ని 15 minutes చెప్పమంటున్నాను valid expectation కదా so when you will get minimum 1 minute you have to prepare so many articles then only that explanation will come. I know it is difficult but try for it. Okay, so if not also see it's your career your life. Okay, మిమ్మల్ని నేనే ఇక్కడ క్వశ్చన్ చేసేది ఏం లేదు నాకు వచ్చేది కూడా ఏం లేదు. So these are the 3 minimum instructions. Okay, so ఫస్ట్ ట్రై అండి, వీళ్ళు ఏమైనా మార్చారని చూస్తాను, మళ్ళీ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ చేస్తున్నట్టున్నారు నేను. ఏం మార్చలేదు, ఎడిట్ అంటే క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్నీ అయిన తర్వాత వాడు చేంజ్ చేస్తే ఇబ్బంది అవుతుంది. ఓకే, సో I'm adding questions now. All 15 questions. Of course, if a small question, you can give small video, it's okay. Let's say this is a direct answer. You need not give 1 minute video. This is interview question 1. Interview question 2. In first mock interview, how many entry questions you are facing? Sir, if you prepare in my style, job support not required, proxy interview not required, backdoor not required, you will get 10 offer letters also. You will get 10 to 20 lakhs package. 10 offer letters also you can try. But prepare in my style. It may take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. But go with my style. No job support. See, BG check fails, what happens? You will have multiple offers in hand. Okay, so అవన్నీ పక్కన పెట్టేసేయండి. నేను చెప్పింది యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గా ఫాలో అవ్వండి. ఫస్ట్ యువర్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ హ్యాస్ టు బి ఇంప్రూవ్డ్. యూ షుడ్ బి ఇన్ ఎ పొజిషన్ టు సార్ schedule interview, I'll go to interview. Sir, first subject, sir, all those things. So which course is better? Automation, ETL, API. This answer I am giving since 2010. At least 13 years నుంచి ఇదే పని నేను చేస్తున్నాను. I have seen thousands of different profiles till now in my life, my 13 years career. Okay, so I'll help you in all those things. I know end-to-end programming testing. I know how to place you. But your support is required. ఇక్కడ నేను చేసేది ఏముంది, నీకు ఇంగ్లీష్ రాకపోతే, నీకు సబ్జెక్ట్ రాకపోతే నేనేం చేస్తాను? సార్ నాకేమీ రాదు, నేను ఫీజు కట్టేస్తాను, జాబ్ ఇప్పించండి అంటే మీరు 1 crore ఫీజు కట్టినా నా వల్ల కాదు. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఇన్ టు దట్ మోడల్. 25,000 కాదు, మీరు 10 lakhs తీసుకొచ్చి ఇచ్చినా నేను ఆ పని నేను చేయలేను. నా దగ్గర జాబ్ ఉన్నా ఆ పని నేను చేయను. బికాస్ ఐఎమ్ ఏ ఫస్ట్ టీచర్. టాలెంటెడ్ పీపుల్ హ్యాస్ టు బి సెలెక్టెడ్. ఆ లైన్ నేను ఎప్పుడు క్రాస్ చేయలేదు. సో అట్లాంటి ఆలోచన ఇంకా మీ మనసులో ఎక్కడన్నా ఉంటే, దిస్ ఈజ్ నాట్ దట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్. ప్లీజ్ డోంట్ జాయిన్. First day mock interview, right? Ready for mock interview. So afternoon you have 3 hours to preparation. Right? Your link is ready here.
So in 12th question, SDLC.
12th question. Question is not covered.
What is testing?
ఇక్కడ 12th question ఏంటి? What is testing? Okay, ఇది మిస్ అయింది. Okay, then 16 questions then. Or we'll do one thing. What is testing? What are the phases of SDLC? I'm adding here only. Save. Right. Sir, I'm going to share here the link for online students. Sir, you need not to give answer now itself. Night you can, before tomorrow, 9:30. I need answers before tomorrow, 9:30. You need not to give answer immediately. And if you do any mistakes in giving answer also, it's okay. See, this is all a trial and run. What is the objective? You should not fail in main interview. నా దగ్గర ఫెయిల్ అయితే why you came here, why you paid fee, I am here to correct you. మీరు నా దగ్గర యాక్ట్ చేశారనుకోండి, అన్ని వచ్చినట్టు మీకే లాస్. మీకు రాదు కాబట్టే నాకు ఫీజు కట్టారు, అవునా? మీకు వచ్చు కాబట్టి ఫీజు కట్టారా? కాబట్టి మీకు రాదని నాకు తెలుసు, నటించకండి. రాదు, నేర్చుకోవడానికి వచ్చారు మీరు, అవును కదా? రాకపోవటం తప్పు కాదు, నేర్చుకోకపోవటం తప్పు. ఏదైనా రాకపోవడం తప్పు కాదండి. మీరు ఎంతైనా డల్ ఉండొచ్చు, ఆ స్టేజ్ నుంచి నెక్స్ట్ డేకి ఇంప్రూవ్ అయ్యాలి లేదా పాయింట్. కాబట్టి ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏమి ఇక్కడ మీరు ఎక్సలెంట్ ఆన్సర్స్, వరల్డ్ క్లాస్ ఆన్సర్స్ ఏమి ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేయట్లేదు. అంటే కొంతమంది నేను గమనించేవాడిని, ఏదైనా వర్క్ ఇస్తాడు మానేసేవాడు. అరే ఇది కాలేజ్ కాదు, స్కూల్ కాదు, నీ సర్టిఫికేట్లు నా దగ్గర లేవు, నువ్వు వస్తే ఎంత రాకపోతే ఎంత. వై యు ఆర్ కమింగ్ ఫర్ యూ, నాట్ ఫర్ మీ. రైట్ సార్? సో హానెస్ట్గా సార్ నాకు ఇంతే వచ్చు. ఇఫ్ యూ ప్రజెంట్ దట్ వాట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డూ, ఐ కెన్ గైడ్ యూ. సార్ చాలా నార్మల్ ప్రొఫైల్స్ కూడా ప్లేస్ చేసిన హిస్టరీ ఉంది మాకు. బీజెడ్సి అంటే నార్మల్ అసలు బైపీసీ చదివిన అమ్మాయిని కూడా 2021 పాస్వర్డ్ వి ప్లేస్డ్. బట్ ఏంటంటే మాకు ఐ నీడ్ యువర్ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ హానెస్ట్లీ. ఇది నీకు ఏమొచ్చు అంటే అక్కడి నుంచి ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్ ప్లాన్ అని చెప్పగలుగుతాను. సో ఐఎమ్ సెండింగ్ దిస్ లింక్ వెంకటేష్. Please immediately share it with Pawan Kalyan and ask him to upload in the, ask him to send it to all their mail IDs. So this is the link, sir. Link I copied in the description. Sir, while posting answer, if you have any attachment, you can paste attachments also. If you prepared any material, you are expecting review. You see, your video will be reviewed, your material also will review. You prepared a self document. Sir, I need your review. You attach there, my staff will review and get back to you. We'll give the feedback. So every day 9:30 it starts. 5 minutes or 2 minutes. Sir, 9:30 to 5:30 you have to be here. It includes English class, testing session 1, testing session 2. So testing session 1 myself, testing session 2 Annapurna will be taking for your batch, and testing practice. So testing practice is Venkatesh. So today I have taken both sessions. So English is English faculty, I think concept. So this is your schedule, total 4 slots. So we may operate in different rhythm also. So today morning I have taken, tomorrow afternoon I may take. Intentionally take that because afternoon few people are leaving. Okay, so నేను నా ఏజ్ 17 years అప్పుడు నేను టీచింగ్ స్టార్ట్ చేశాను. చిన్నపిల్లల క్లాసులు చెప్పేవాడిని. 18 years అప్పుడు ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ పెట్టాను. ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ పేరు ఎయిమ్స్ అండ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఆఫ్ మ్యాథ్స్ అండ్ సైన్స్. పాలిటెక్నిక్ అని ఉండేది అప్పట్లో. పాలిటెక్నిక్ ఏపీఆర్ చేసి కోచింగ్ ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు. పిల్లలు ఎవరు జాయిన్, అప్పుడు నేను ఇంటర్మీడియట్ 10th వరకు మేము ట్రైనింగ్ ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు. సో పిల్లలు ఎవరు జాయిన్ అవ్వకపోతే గవర్నమెంట్ స్కూల్కి వెళ్ళి మా ఊళ్ళో గవర్నమెంట్ స్కూల్లో పిల్లలకు ఫ్రీగా ట్రైనింగ్ ఇచ్చి ర్యాంక్ కొట్టించాను నేను. ఇంత హిస్టరీ నాకు టీచింగ్లో ఉంది. నా దగ్గర మీ ప్రతాపం అసలు జరగదు. మీకున్న ఒకే ఒక ఆప్షన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ మానేసి వేరే ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్లో జాయిన్ అవ్వండి. కంటిన్యూ అవ్వాలనుకుంటే నా స్టైల్లో కంటిన్యూ అవ్వండి. నా స్టైల్ అంటే ఏంటంటే ట్రైనింగ్ నేను చాలా స్ట్రిక్ట్గా ఉంటాను. నువ్వు సూపర్ స్టార్, మెగాస్టార్, పవర్ స్టార్, ఐ డోంట్ కేర్. నీ ఏజ్ ఎంతైనా కావచ్చు, నీ ప్రొఫైల్ ఏదైనా కావచ్చు, నువ్వు బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఏదైనా కావచ్చు, నా దృష్టిలో నువ్వు స్టూడెంట్, కింద కూర్చోమంటే కింద కూర్చోవాలి, పైన కూర్చోమంటే పైన కూర్చోవాలి, అంతే. మీకు ఏమైనా ఇగోలు ఉంటే అన్నీ జాగ్రత్తగా ఇంట్లో బీరువాలో పెట్టేసి రండి. నేను తిడతాను, పడాలి. మీకోసమే తిట్టేది, మీకోసమే వర్క్ ఇచ్చేది. నాకేమీ రాదు. మీరు సూపర్ డోపర్ అని పోకటానికి కాదు నేను ఇక్కడ ఉంది. మీకు నేర్పించడానికి నేను ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాను. నేర్పించే ప్రాసెస్లో కొంత పెయిన్ఫుల్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ పెయిన్ తీసుకుంటేనే రండి ఇక్కడికి. ప్రతిరోజు వీడియోస్ మేము చెక్ చేస్తాం. నువ్వు నిద్రపోతావో నాకు అనవసరం. ఐ నీడ్ యువర్ ఆన్సర్స్. ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదు, వచ్చిన ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్పు, పర్లేదు. మిమ్మల్ని అందరి ముందు క్రిటిసైజ్ చేయడానికి కాదండి. ఐ వాంట్ టు సీ యూ యాజ్ అ టీచర్. ఎవరు ఏదైనా నేర్చుకోవచ్చండి, ఎవరు ఎంతైనా పైకి వెళ్ళొచ్చు. పాస్ట్ ఈజ్ పాస్ట్, పక్కన పెట్టేసేయండి. స్టార్ట్ యువర్ డే యాజ్ ఎ ఫ్రెష్. ఇప్పుడు మీరు సిన్సియర్గా ఉండండి, ఎందుకు జాబ్ రోజు నేను చూస్తాను. సో మీకు భయాలు ఉన్నాయి, రెసిషన్, ఇవన్నీ భయాలు ఉంటే రెసిషన్ పోయినాక జాయిన్ అవ్వండి. ఎవడు రమ్మన్నాడు? అది ఈ నాటకాలే వద్దనేది. హానెస్ట్గా నేర్చుకునేటప్పుడు హానెస్ట్గా నేర్చుకోవాలి. సగం సగం వద్దు. ఆడుకోవాలనుకుంటే ఒక మంత్ ఆడుకుని నెక్స్ట్ బ్యాచ్కి జాయిన్ అవ్వండి. సార్, ఈ బ్యాచ్లో చాలామంది డబ్బులు లేక వస్తారు, ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉండి వస్తారు. వాళ్ళకి లైఫ్ చాలా ఛాలెంజింగ్గా ఉంటుంది. మీకు లైఫ్ కామెడీ అనుకోండి, మీ వల్ల వేరే వాళ్ళు ఎఫెక్ట్ అవ్వడం అనేది అత్యంత పాపం. ఉండేది మీరు 2-3 months ట్రైనింగ్లో. ఆ 2-3 months సీరియస్గా ఉండండి. మీరు ఆడుకోవాలనుకుంటే బోల్డెన్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్ ఉన్నాయి బయట. ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి అట్లాంటివి చేయకండి. జాబ్ కొట్టండి. జాబ్ కొట్టిన తర్వాత ఏదైనా చేయండి, మీరు అందంగా ఉంటుంది. అప్పుడు జాబ్ కొట్టకుండా ఏమైనా చేశారనుకోండి, చిరాకు వస్తుంది. అంటే అరే వీడికి లైఫ్లో సీరియస్నెస్ లేదనిపిస్తుంది. నేను మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నానండి, మీ ప్రొఫైల్ని బట్టి నేనేం వాల్యూ ఇవ్వను. నాకు ఒకటే, మీరు అందరూ ఒకటే స్టూడెంట్. మీకు జాబ్ వస్తే నేను హ్యాపీ ఫీల్ అవుతాను. లేకపోతే మిమ్మల్ని నేను అక్కడ సెంటర్లో చూసినా సరే మేము ఫేస్ చేయలేను. ఫస్ట్ నాకు బాధ వేస్తుంది. అంటే నిన్ను నా స్టూడెంట్ అని చెప్పడం నేను చిరాకు పడతాను. 3 months రాకపోతే 6 monthsకి వస్తుంది, 6 months రాదు 1 yearకి వస్తుంది, 1 year రాదు 1.5 yearకి వస్తుంది. ఓపికగా కూర్చోండి. జాబ్ కోసమే వచ్చింది, దానికోసమే కూర్చోండి. మధ్యలో నీకు ప్రాక్సీలని, బ్యాక్ డోర్లు ఇట్లాంటి డ్రామాలు ఆడకండి. అలాంటి మైండ్ సెట్ ఉండి ఇక్కడ రాకండి. రైట్. సో 4 sessions ఉంటాయి మీకు ఎవ్రీడే. ఒకటి ఇంగ్లీష్ సెషన్, ఒక టెస్టింగ్ క్లాస్ 1, టెస్టింగ్ క్లాస్ 2. టుడే ఐ హ్యావ్ టేకెన్ బోత్ ద క్లాసెస్. సో ఇంకా క్లాస్ ఉండదు ఇవాళ మీకు. ఇంగ్లీష్ క్లాస్ ఉంటుంది, వెంకటేష్ ప్రాక్టీస్ ఉంటుంది. రైట్ సార్, ఇట్స్ ఏ ఫుల్ డే, 9:30 to 5:30. ఎనీ ఎక్సెప్షన్ సినారియో కమ్ ఇన్ ఆన్లైన్ ఆర్ వన్ డే యూ కెన్ టేక్ క్లిక్ అండ్ టేక్ వీడియోస్. బట్ బీ సిన్సియర్. అంటే కామెడీగా చేయకండి, అది నేను చెప్పాను. హీరోయిజంగా ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ వెళ్ళిపోవడం. ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఫ్యామిలీలో లెట్స్ సే యువర్ ఏ ఉమెన్, మీకు ఇంట్లో పిల్లలు ఉన్నారు, వెళ్ళిపోవాలి చెప్పి వెంకటేష్కి వెళ్ళండి. తప్పులేదు అది. కొంతమంది ఏం చేస్తారు, హీరోయిజంగా బ్యాచ్లు క్రియేట్ చేయటం, వెళ్ళిపోవటం, ఇక్కడ చేసేది అది. ఇప్పటికే మీరు ఈ స్టేజ్, ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ నా క్లాస్లో కూర్చున్నారంటే ఆల్రెడీ చివరి స్టేజ్కి వచ్చినట్టు లైఫ్లో. ఇక్కడ వచ్చి మళ్ళీ గేమ్స్ ఆడితే అసలు అది వర్స్ట్గా ఉంటుంది అది. రైట్ సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ. సో లెట్స్ మీట్ టుమారో. సో ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ గో ఫర్ 1 hour break. వెంకటేష్ విల్ హెల్ప్ యూ. ఇట్స్ ఎ స్టడీ అవర్. ప్రిపేర్. ఎలా స్టడీ అవర్? జస్ట్ గూగుల్లో కొట్టండి చాట్ జీపీటీ. ఇది ఒకటి చూపించి ఆపేస్తానండి. మీకు నేను అడిగిన 15 క్వశ్చన్స్కి చాట్ జీపీటీ కంటే బెస్ట్ మెటీరియల్ ఎవడు ఇవ్వలేడండి. మేము ఇచ్చినా సరే దానిలోకి వెళ్ళి కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేసే వాళ్ళకి ఇప్పుడు. సో hope you are using ChatGPT, everyone. If not, start using it. Just create account, normal Gmail account laga. Ippudiki answer, what is SDLC and how to prepare, I am telling. What is SDLC? It will give you answer. SDLC stands for Software Development Life Cycle. It gives you very clear answer. Ask ChatGPT multiple questions. SDLC with example. What is planning? What is analysis? Like that, do Google research, ChatGPT research, come up with your own material. That material you convert it to video. That is what expected from you. Planning, analysis. It's slow. Actually, the server is slow, I think. Otherwise, it will give very fast answer. If you ask with some examples, samples, requirement samples, design samples, iterative approach, everything you ask ChatGPT, Google search. So based on my today's topic, do little research, then write your own points, then prepare video version of material. Right, sir. Go for